Hello and welcome to A Journey of Clarity, a personal exploration of getting in tune with yourself and in tune with others with your host, Dr. Natanael Costea. This is a journey of emotional and spiritual awareness, of discovery what life truly means, and a clear shift from an ego-driven world to a meaning-driven world. I believe we can become more in tune with our thoughts, our emotions, and our spirituality. And as we do that, we will make better decisions, have deeper connections, more fulfillment, and even more joy. This is a bit of clarity. All of us look to someone for inspiration, for example, for modeling. We look up to them because they have some skills, some abilities. They've worked through some issues, some parts, some segments of their life, and they have become something. They have persevered through something, and we admire these people. Well, what these people have done is they've battled throughout so many issues and challenges that came their way, and they persevered and they had grit, and they carried on their task, and that's why we highly esteem these people. And at times we want to be like them. Well, today, this is exactly what I will be talking about. I will be talking about what it means to persevere, to carry on in the midst of all the challenges and obstacles that we face in life. As we admire people who persevere, maybe it's time for us to become just as strong in our perseverance. This is episode 20, and we are here because we've persevered, and you've persevered with us by watching these or listening to these podcasts. And it's beautiful to see that we can achieve greater things in life if we put our minds to it, if we get passionate about it, if we are devoted to it, if we prioritize things. And today we will go deeper into this subject. How is your perseverance? What do you stick at and just carry on? Where do you need to be more involved and more self-disciplined? And where do you need to press a bit further? These are the questions that will probably come up your way as we engage in this subject. So for those of you who haven't heard yet or haven't seen yet, there are show notes with every show that we do. This is a bit of clarity. I am Natanael Costea, and the show notes are at eq.org.au. You can download these. The links are also in the comment section of the channel that you're watching or listening to this podcast or presentation. So we are developing an understanding of perseverance today. And as I said earlier, when we look at these attributes, there's always a person attached to these attributes. You always think of somebody who hasn't given up, but they kept on going and going and going and going. And, when you look at Walt Disney, he took his show all over the US with Mickey Mouse, and nobody believed that Mickey Mouse could become a brand. Mickey Mouse could become such a beautiful story for children to listen to. Nobody believed in him. He even took it to Hollywood, and they weren't that interested in him. He was bankrupt. He didn't have any money, yet he believed in what he was doing. He persevered and persevered. And we all know what Walt Disney is today and what the Mickey Mouse has done to the world. It's just wonderful to see. And there are so many examples. You know, the Ford Motor Company. Mr. Ford, when he created the assembly line of car manufacturing, nobody believed in him. Nobody believed that you can assemble cars in a massive assembling line. Yet he developed that, he perfected that, and he has become, he modernized the way we build cars today, but he has become a very well-known brand out there. And you say, yes, Nathaniel, this is wonderful, but these people are so far away from me. And that's true. But look closer to where you are at the moment. Maybe one of your parents, or maybe a brother, a sister, or a friend, or a sportsman, or a, musician or artist has persevered and carried on in spite of all the challenges that they face. And they are today where they are because they carried on. Look at them for inspiration, because it's wonderful to be inspired by other people. So,
Understanding perseverance. I think I went a little bit too far with giving examples and giving away a little bit too much without defining first the concept of perseverance. So, perseverance is associated with a steadfastness on mastering skills or completing a task, having a commitment to learning. To remain steadfast is to remain unmovable, on track, on the road, on the path, learning to master the skills that you want to master, seeing it to the end, to finish that task, having that commitment, not just to finish off the task, but to also learning along the path. Perseverance, I love this, by the way, is the hard work you do after you get tired of doing the hard work you already did. So it's not just saying, okay, I've done my part for the day or I've done the hard work. Perseverance goes one step further and says, I'll do the hard work after I've done the hard work because I'm going to push a lot further. Other terms associated with perseverance include persistence, not giving up, being persistent. Tenacity. Tenacity means that you will bounce back. There's resilience, that you are holding strong. Determination, not giving up, determined to remain on the path. Staying power, same thing, staying firm. Resolve, not giving in easily. Patience, something we don't always like, but very important for us. Endurance, bearing with the pain, bearing with the discomfort, and just carrying on, no matter how we feel, the emotions or the pain, or even sometimes a bit of physical pain. Press on, where you just push through, you struggle on. I love that term, struggling on, pressing on no matter what. Proceeding, even though at times we don't feel like making that step, but we just proceed and we carry on with that task. Standing firm, sometimes you need to press, sometimes you need to push, and sometimes you need to stand firm in what you believe, stand firm in what you're doing, and also keep going. Keep going is also a term used for perseverance, people who keep going no matter what comes their way. It's ideal, but it is also possible. So perseverance is a desired attribute that we must adopt in the way we manage our lives. Grit. You've probably heard of this grit. Grit is just as important. It's a recent import. It's a term that is more modern that we use. And this was researched by Angela Duckworth and is defined as the tendency to sustain interest and effort towards long-term goals. So somebody who has grit, they look at the long-term benefit and they remain interested by looking at the end, and they press in with effort and interest throughout this journey. It is associated with self-control and deferring short-term gratification. So it's exercising. Somebody who has grit, they can exercise self-control and they can delay gratification. They don't just jump in and want instant gratification. They can push it further and further for a long-term benefit. This is what perseverance is all about. I'm sure you would love to have more and more of that, and there are ways to boost that, to increase that. But before that, the keys to perseverance. There are a couple of keys that I want to unlock for you today about perseverance. Number one, it has to do with effort. Key number one, effort. Effort. Nothing comes easy in life. You probably know that. And if you look at anything great that you have achieved in life, there was effort, there was purpose, you went for it. So it takes intentional effort to have perseverance. Perseverance doesn't just come naturally. You must want something, you must desire something, and you must work for it. There is effort, there is something that you must channel your energy towards. It takes going through discomfort, and most of us don't like discomfort. Get used to being uncomfortable. In fact, if you are too comfortable, ask yourself, something is not right here. You should be always familiar with discomfort. There should be a bit of discomfort in your physical body as well, in the sense a bit of muscle pain, a bit of joint pain, because you're persevering, because you're exercising, because you're doing something. There should be a bit of tension at the mind level, because you're stretching your imagination, you're stretching, you're growing, you're developing. In fact, if you're comfortable, you're in danger. So yes, we love comfort, but learn to live with discomfort, because discomfort will take you to a higher ground. So discomfort, effort, right? It takes going through discomfort, it takes going through opposition. So when opposition comes your way, you should rub your hands and say, bring it on, because this will make me stronger. This means I am persevering. This means I'm going on. This means that these troubles do not knock me down. I have the ability to carry on. Obstacles and complications. You will face obstacles in life. It's not when and if you face obstacles, you will face obstacles in life. There will be complications in life that will come your way. There will be complications in relationships. There will be complications in finances. There will be obstacles, physical, spiritual, emotional, mental. All these challenges are part of life. Get real. Get an understanding that this is the reality of life. But you have this ability, with a bit of effort, to go through them and push through these, because you have this innate ability of persevering if you tap into it. That's how God created you. So you can persevere, you can go on, you can press on. In fact, you've probably never been tested to the maximum of your ability. And I'm not so sure if you ever will be tested to the absolute maximum of your potential. But let me tell you, you can go a lot further with effort. The other day, I was traveling for about 3 hours with a friend of mine, and he told me that he ran a 42 kilometer marathon without much preparation, just on effort alone. Basically, he went to sign up for half a marathon, which is about 21, 22 kilometers. And while he was in the queue to sign up, he was going with a mate of his, with a friend of his. While he was in the queue to sign up for this marathon, he met two 70-year-olds who were running the full marathon. And they said to him, he was in his early 40s, they said to him, you'd be able to run this marathon, no problem. And he thought, if these 70-year-olds can run a 42, 43 kilometer marathon, then I should be able to run that marathon. He didn't have a lot of preparation for that marathon, but he just believed that with effort he can run that marathon. So rather than signing for a 22 kilometer marathon, he signed for a full marathon. And he only had 2 weeks to prepare, so there was a bit of practice in between, but he had to really reverse engineer the practice. So he said, all right, I'm going to run 10 kilometers every second day to build up my stamina. And then 3 days before the race, before the marathon, I'll do a 20 kilometer run, and basically that's it. So really, he couldn't run all that much in 2 weeks. And then on effort alone and on that self-belief, he ran the full marathon in 4 hours. Now, 4 hours is a very good time for that kind of a marathon, for somebody that hasn't done that, who hasn't practiced, and there's other people that will take 5-6 hours to run such a long marathon. But on effort alone, on that belief, on that resilience, on that perseverance, he just pushed through it and pushed through it and pushed through it, and he ran the full marathon, which is almost, unthinkable. Most people, if you said you're going to run a 43 kilometer marathon in 2 weeks, they would say that's impossible. I won't even try. But the human potential is so massive, we almost never tap into it. But let me tell you, that triggered such an amazing power in this man, because now his threshold just all of a sudden pushed the limit. Before he would have said, yeah, I can run 20 kilometers. All of a sudden he says, I can run 40 kilometers. Now in every area of his life, he said, I can do double than what I think I can do almost in every area of my life if I make the effort. This was just a switch, a shift that occurred in his life, because he realized we don't tap in our full potential. So effort, the key to perseverance is effort. The second key to perseverance is practice. Practice. As I said, my friend also began to practice, not for a long time, but enough to encourage him and to give him hope that he can do it. So effort number one and practice number two. It starts with practicing delayed gratification. So learn to push. So if you want something today, rather than having it today and you know that you can wait for it, why don't you push it for 2 weeks' time, or for 3 days' time, or for 5 days' time? And learn this delayed gratification. Learn to say no to yourself and yes to the things that are important. Because this will build inner strength, inner perseverance, inner ability to push further and to have that self-control. Self-regulation and self-control. Again, so the three ingredients to practice here: delayed gratification, self-regulation, and self-control. So when you have this urge to do something, when you have this urge to give in, how do you manage yourself? What do you tell yourself? What is the self-talk that you have with yourself at that time? Do you say to yourself, Natanael, carry on. Natanael, you can do this. Natanael, you've been through greater challenges before. You've ran this race before. You have the ability, you have the stamina, you have the strength, you have the love to forgive, you have the love to bounce back. You don't have to be fearful about this. You don't have to be anxious about this. You don't have to be stressed about this. You will overcome this. Enough for today. Take it again tomorrow. Push for it. Carry on. Do your part. Things will turn around. You must have this ability to practice and practice and practice and learn from your history as well. Keep going, fueled by passion to achieve the long-term goal. So put your passion, use your passion as a fuel to get you going and keep you going. So tap into your passion, because that will keep you going, and look at the long-term goal. So set the goal, the long-term goal that you want, and then set little goals in between. And then bit by bit, go through them. And get your passion ignited and channel that passion into the long-term goal, and practice and practice and practice. And as you practice, even living with discomfort, you will become stronger and you will be able to overcome the challenges that come your way. So the keys to perseverance are: number one, effort, and number two, practice. Why is this important? Why is perseverance important? Well, perseverance is important because it's the way we learn. Without perseverance, you will not learn. You'll say, oh, but some people just get it. Yes, they just get it, but they still have to practice it. They still have to put it into practice. They learn through perseverance. They learn through rehearsing, repeating, practicing over and over again. All forms of learning, I wrote in our notes, require perseverance. Every form of learning requires perseverance. You know, when you learn to walk, you probably don't remember, you were probably just 1 year of age and you see babies trying to walk. How do they learn to walk? By persevering. At first they go bang, and then they fall. But eventually by practicing, that's how they learn. So we learn through perseverance. That's how we learn to talk. We just kept saying things. That's how we learn almost everything in our lives, by persevering. So just know that part of our learning, part of our development, part of our growing is perseverance. So now tap into perseverance to boost all these areas of your life, to boost every learning in your life. Just carry on. Small results, small steps. You might not even feel that you're getting anywhere today. You may feel that there's no traction. You've done it for an hour a day for 3, 4, 5 days and there's no improvement. But in 2, 3 weeks' time, you will see some improvements. 6, 7 weeks from now, you will see massive improvements. In fact, if you spend an hour a day, the experts say, if you spend an hour a day for 3 years, you can become an expert at almost anything that you want. You become a guru at almost any subject or any expertise that you want in 3 years' time. Faster than going to university, faster than getting a degree, faster than spending money, just by putting 1 hour a day for 3 years, focusing on something that is important to you. That is how powerful our ability is when we learn and we want to learn and we use perseverance. Why is important? Why is perseverance important? Number one, because we learn. It's the way we learn, excuse me. And number two, it's because the way we prioritize what we value. Perseverance is the way we prioritize what we value. If we value family, for example, through perseverance, we will engage into that priority. We'll spend time with them, we will earn money for them, we will love them, we will care for them. We prioritize that through perseverance because we love it. It's our value, it's our passion, it's our priority. So it puts our values into action. We begin to do things for that which we value. And this obviously realigns our actions. So all our actions are realigned towards our values. And if we have perseverance, we can get to fulfill those priorities and values in our lives. So perseverance is important because it's the way we learn and it's the way we prioritize what we value. How do you improve perseverance? Well, I'm glad you asked. This is how you do it. Number one, interest. Take interest in your passion by following it. So whatever you have, and it's not just about passion, if you're interested in something, to do something, whether it is a passion yet or it will become a passion as you engage in it, don't wait for the passion to come. You ignite it, you start it, it will come along. But gain an interest, take interest in what you do, take active interest in developing, in growing, in becoming better. Take active interest, and while you do that, perseverance is boosted in your life. Number two, practice. Be deliberate in practicing setting new goals, challenging tasks, and accepting feedback. So practice anything and everything that you want to grow in, that you want to develop in life. Be deliberate, be intentional about this, and practice perseverance in your life. You will become better at it. Set new goals, push the limit, push the bar higher, and go for it. And just do it and do it and do it. Start practicing perseverance in your life, because the bar you set today will be the floor for tomorrow. You will just go in leaps if you do that. So make sure that you practice. Number three, purpose. How do you improve your perseverance? Number one, interest. Number two, practice. Number three, purpose. Look beyond yourself for a greater purpose of good and of contribution to the world. Life is not just about you. Yes, it is a little bit about you, but it's more about the contribution and the value that you bring to other people around you. We are born with a purpose in this world, which is far greater than just living and eating and drinking and having money and comfort and fulfilling our passions. There is a greater purpose for us. There is a greater calling for our lives. There is a greater mission. There is a greater ministry. There is a greater abundance of life waiting for us, and that will only come about when we invest ourselves for others, when we contribute to the goodness of the world, when we contribute to helping others, assisting others, loving others. Do your part, have a purpose, and when you have your purpose, you will persevere in that purpose. And number four, it has to do with hope. You will improve perseverance when you have hope. Believe that your effort matters and it improves the future. And believe in everything that you do, and believe that there's a purpose with what you do. It matters what you do, what you get involved in matters. And also, this changes lives. This improves your future. This improves the future of those you love and the wider community. So, how do you improve perseverance? By taking an interest in your values, in what you like, in what you desire, and what your passions are, and going for it. By practicing perseverance in small goals, in settings that you're putting for yourself. Having a purpose, looking beyond yourself for a greater purpose. And number four, having hope. Believe that your effort matters and it's significant, and it improves both your future and also the future of the people around you. With everything that we do here, add a bit of clarity. We want to encourage you to apply some of these concepts that I'm talking about. And you have an application right at the bottom. Don't overlook this. And, I know it's tempting not to do this and just to listen. I appreciate that you're probably in your car right now and you're driving and you can't take a pen and write it down. But do download the show notes, the application guide if you want. And when you get a few moments, be it at work or at home, jot down some things that can help you improve and take traction in your life with these learnings that we do. So the application is for today: identify an area in your life where you can improve perseverance and put an action plan for each of the 4 steps above. So the 4 steps are taking interest, practicing, looking for purpose, and having hope. So ask yourself, how can I boost my perseverance in this area of my life? So for example, if you want to eat healthier, how can you boost your perseverance in eating healthier? Well, take an interest in healthier food. Take an active interest in developing a way for you to have healthier meals and be more interested in that than junk food or other areas that you've neglected before. Practice. Put into practice having a healthier diet. Practice, having a healthier breakfast, a better lunch, a healthier dinner. Time set the times into place where you want to eat, what you want to eat, plan ahead. Purpose, look beyond yourself for a greater purpose, which means by eating healthy, you know that you are a better person, that you will feel better about yourself, you will improve the lives of the people around you in the way that you model, in the way that you inspire, in the way that you build other people up. And when you feel better, other people around you will feel better. When you are healthy, your family is benefiting from it, your workplace is benefiting from it because you are sharper, your performance changes, everything changes about you. So you are blessing the people around you. And hope. Believe that this effort that you do today, and you may not see the result immediately, the fact that you're eating healthier today will improve your life and the life of people around you in the future. It's a long-term goal that starts today with little steps. So see how these four steps can improve your perseverance and can help you become stronger, with more grit, more steadfast, more committed to the journey of life and to those things that are important for you. You will thank me for this one day, because if you apply perseverance, so many things will improve in your life. So I encourage you to assimilate this and appropriate this learning, take traction, run with it, apply it in your life and see the benefits of it. And I'd love to hear your feedback in a few weeks' time and tell me how you do with perseverance. You can always write us an email. You can write comments on YouTube, on Apple Podcast, on Google Play, wherever you are watching or listening to this content. Thank you so much for joining us today in episode 20. And I really hope that your perseverance improves dramatically every single day with this awareness and with this ability to self-manage yourself much better.
I'm Dr. Natanael Costea, and I thank you so much for joining me on this journey of clarity through emotional and spiritual awareness. If you feel blessed by this presentation, please subscribe, rate, comment, and share it wherever you're enjoying it. And until next time, this was a bit of clarity.